Hello.
Thank you. There's some paper going around. They're kind of broken into stacks of 5, so just grab a little stack of purple notes. And I wanted to start off by first acknowledging Sandy, because she indeed very graciously accepted the chairmanship of the committee, and I am most grateful for the amazing, careful guidance and commitment she has given this program. And truly, to get ready for today, she said the 50 to 60 hours. I think a lot of that, maybe 80% of that might have been her part. So we've all worked, but I just want to thank Sandy. So thank you, Sandy. So, yeah. Okay.
Hey, Tiger.
So, let's see how this works. I'm just going to quickly do a little springboard on what Sandy was just saying. Yeah, we're going to do a little activity in a couple minutes. And I have a little overlap with the concept of that's already been established from the very beginning of today's session, which is the adult learning principles. So Sandy mentioned that you've got 3 files, and they're in 3 different formats. So you can pick the one that you're going to learn the best from. One is a text-based article, very readable, nice, easy flow to it. One's a PowerPoint, and one is kind of like in a brochure style. So you can have your flavor of how you want to learn a little bit more about adult learning styles. But I think if you could take the 10 minutes it will take to read through one of those, you'll then feel much more comfortable when you go to learn and embrace and create your session. Because it's so interesting as I've been doing some reading. Probably many of you have heard about pedagogos.
Ellen, can I suggest a black pen? I don't think that's going to come
Would that
out.
be better?
Would be better.
I can go with black.
A big fat,
There's a
bill.
fat bill.
And that just as an aside note, that box has all the magic tools. It has paper, and it has your name tags and your name tags, and it also has lots of felt pens, so you don't have to worry about that. There's scissors and there's paper.
Okay, so
Push pins, blue tape.
there's a whole field of adult learning principles, because it's considered really important area of study if you want to engage and interact and make your outcome most successful, is to understand certain attributes of the adult learner. So many of you probably have heard of pedagogy, and that comes from the Greek word for child, right? Pediatric, and it's the teaching of a child. Pedagogy, the art of teaching. So I know my daughter's excited about going into a HARP program where she's going to learn a lot about pedagogy, the art of teaching harp or music. So then if you start reading any of those articles any of the files that we've given you, you'll find a new word, at least it was new for me. Uh-oh, got it up. I don't have teacher handwriting, sorry. Okay, so androgyny, which is not the same thing as being androgynous, androgyny. A-D-R-A-G-O-N-Y.
Google.
Okay, so that comes also from the Greek root meaning man, okay, adult, already learned. So, and I think the point of that, the basic for adult learning principle, is that the people coming into your room have a wealth of experience, have a whole area of expertise that they bring to the table. So versus going from the child to the adult, the principles are very different. I gave you guys one page in your binder that has a pie at the top. All right. And I said that any way you slice it, leadership learning is about helping our volunteers to be more successful. Susan already did this. I added a couple visuals for you though, okay? So I'm gonna explain a couple of the, well, I'm gonna explain the first visual, then I'm gonna ask you guys to explain the other visuals. So I started with humble pie because I feel very humble about that vast experience that people bring to the table for us in these classes. And that acknowledging that and learning from that helps them feel validated. And starting out with asking the group, how many of you have X? You know, maybe it's presented in front of a group, or how many of you have had any training in adult learning. I mean, it's nice to always get a sense of what that group has had experience with, and you continue to be able to pull them into the learning a little bit more if you acknowledge what they're bringing to the table. So the humble pie for me represents that I'm always humbled by how many people who are sitting in that room who could easily, without skipping a beat, get up and present and do what I'm doing. So that's the humble pie part of it. If you want to share a slice of the pie, so if you walk away with how do you remember this? Think of sharing a slice of pie. And I've kind of written out the acronym for that. But think about slicing the pie for this program. So when you go through your session, you're going to think about what support will help volunteers have a more successful experience. So when you look at the activity in your session, ask yourself, what support is going to help them be more successful? Learn. That's back to the adult learning, you know, just in what methods, what way are you going to get across that content that's going to really maximize their learning. So inspire. Marilyn already talked about how important it is to be enthusiastic. And I really think whenever you bring something authentic to the discussion, they know it. If you really feel comfortable and have decided that what your presentation is about fits well for you, you feel good about it, it'll be authentic. Sharing a little bit about yourself is authentic. And that seems to be what connects with people. Connect, that's C for slice. As Marilyn said, the evaluations over and over and over again have told us that connection with classmates is one of the top reasons people take the class. So as you look at your activity, or at least if you look at all of your activities, have you provided any of them that's going to allow them to connect with that? So, and engage. Back to what teaching methods will most help them engage and kind of maximize their participation in the session. So, Jeff taught me something when we were struggling with one of the classes. We were redoing it, and he kept telling me, because we were trying to cram a lot in, and he said, you know, I think one of the basic rules, and you may be able to say it better, is just if people can leave that afternoon with 2 or 3 take-home messages, what do you most want to stick? And when you get done kind of looking through your session and looking at your key points and your objectives, you know, step back a moment and ask, what do I hope is going to stick today? Do you have a take-home message for them? What will it be? So that really helped me to kind of come at it a different way when I started to revamp a session. Because it's a process of, they want this, and this. And Jeff just said it, they're only going to get 2 or 3 of these take-home messages. So, so that slice is helping me kind of step back and rethink some of the ways to approach our sessions. So, there's a pie chart at the bottom, and it lists people's pie preferences. Just for a second, can we just go around the table? I'm kind of curious. I remember that Susan's favorite was berry, because I asked David and her what her favorite pie is. Why would that stick with me? I'm not sure. So,
What does that
but I
say?
think it has to do with connection, or that I really like pie. But it was nice. It was a nice thing. So just for a moment, just what is your favorite?
Cherry.
Oh,
I can't think of a pie I don't like.
perfect.
It's a bit of a problem.
Okay, not at all.
Mince.
Mint.
Ooh.
Berry.
Coconut cream or banana cream?
Ooh.
I like apple pie.
Cherry.
Is also-
Do you want to change your answer, Susan?
No.
For
I
sure,
like
berry.
apple pie.
Susan said.
Berry
That's
and cherry.
Sorry, Mike.
I'm with Maryland, apple.
Berry.
Cherry.
I like cherry because it's sour. Banana cream.
Mm.
Wow. How did we do this? Do you, any of you want to take a stab at why conceptually I might have included this pie chart?
Because everybody prefers to get a different thing out of the session.
It's a pie breaker.
Any yes, I
It's a
agree.
visual.
It's a visual, that's right.
And it's doing a quick census.
Yep, yep. Well, I just wanted to hear what you guys had to say. I just wasn't really sure. I mean, I had kind of an idea too, but there's no right answer. I just thought that it was all for a moment of answers to come from the class to me. And I thought, you could postulate or on a number of different levels why that might be there. But I agree that it has to do with what you take away from the class. It can be a lot of different, it can be different things for different people, and people have different preferences. One more thing, the last visual had a caption, and I covered it. That has to do, if you had to put a caption with why pie and volunteering, how that visual might represent a volunteer. What do you think? Yes? No one picked me. Aw.
Or everyone gets to, I would have just the glass is totally full. Everybody gets to participate. That's what's great about volunteerism. It's a pleasure, it's a joy, and everybody gets to do it, so everybody gets a piece of their favorite pie.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't fit the picture.
But it sure fits Sandy.
That's
Anybody have any other guest captions?
Yeah, Michael.
Well, you're just a slice of the whole pie.
Aw.
That's cool.
that
I
it?
like that.
So,
That's
Did you know that?
Or if you have all the pieces, then you have the whole pie.
But you can't eat it too.
And what kind of pie it was.
You have your pie and you get two.
Oh, it's cake, that's right,
Really?
pies are okay, right?
Okay, well, what it really said there was, you put veggies in my pie? Veggies.
Veggies
I
in
think
my
so, it's a
pie.
pumpkin, must be a pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie is
Must be a
veggie.
pumpkin pie, that's a veggie, so it didn't relate to volunteers at all, but I thought we would probably come up with much better, little slogans for it. So again, it's just a moment to hear what you guys are thinking, and some of those best moments in the class sometimes come from what you let the class create and interact and come together. And this is an amazingly creative group of people. So how did this work? Some of you know that this whole program, this whole set of curriculum went back to 1996, I think, when we formed an ad hoc committee of the board. Paul was on my original committee, and we wanted to put together a leadership curriculum. And so we didn't know where to start, but human resource people being human resource people, they said call other temples and find them. So we did. And we were able to gather about somewhere between 8 to 12 sample curriculums from temples across the country. We called across the different denominations of Judaism. many places wanted them and said, when we finish ours, please send it to them. And very few people had anything that was documented, very few. The URJ could not offer us anything at that time. San Francisco, Emmanuel in San Francisco had one of the most developed curriculum at the time. But we gathered and we gathered and we gathered. And we went through and we broke all the elements of those courses into conceptual units, right? And then we tried to group the conceptual units. We also interviewed model leaders of this congregation. We had a very full set of interview questions, and we asked them about what did it mean to mentor, who mentored them, what worked, what discouraged them, what encouraged them, and we wanted to hear elements again, and we created themes from that. So we then took a variety of these attributes and components, and we, as a group, brainstormed and put them into their thematic groupings. All right, and then you probably will remember the triangle that we used to represent the course, where the base says Jewish values and beliefs. And we still felt that we were the first congregation in the country that actually wove the Judaism throughout the course, because all the other courses that we got had the Jewish part stuck on one session. And we thought, no, this is a Jewish leadership course. And then the other strands were the self-knowledge of personal styles, the systems info, right? And then
We've changed the names since then, but.
Yeah, what do you call systems info now?
Well, we used to call it systems information, I'm not sure, we call it logistics.
Logistics or
Systems and
something?
logistics.
And last but not least, what's the third one, Sandy?
Group process.
Group process or communication, all right? So that's how we took all these many attributes and formed this. So when you come into it, you're going to have, for your session, a set of materials. The set of materials is going to include a list of pre-work, and pre-work may be the things that you have to do before your session, maybe getting materials ready depending on your activities, all right? You'll have a materials list, so you can kind of go through and check off everything that needs to get done. And then, probably most importantly, you'll have the trainer script. And the trainer script is set up so that it has the any handouts or materials that you need on the far column, and then it has who is doing it, which trainer, and it has exactly the type of activity it is, and then the script for it. And that's kind of how it's set up. So you are reading across them and following a training plan. All right. I would probably recommend, as you sit down your team, and you'll have, as you know, a leadership committee person on each team, to go through your course to look at what those content areas are. We're going to review them in just a second. And how do you make something your own that hasn't been your own? I mean, that's kind of hard, but that's kind of the ultimate goal. So you're going to perhaps take the second page that you have, might be your, that's not your last one, but after the humble pie, the next page is something we used in the previous training, where just go through each activity that's in your current trainer script. Just go through it. List the goal. What is the goal of that activity? So if you can sit down and clearly state what the goal is, then what its approach is. Is it an interactive activity? Is it a lecture? How much time is allotted it? And at the end, go back and kind of do the percentages. And you'll start to really have a sense of this, the goals of this session is X, or each activity has a reason. The method, what was the methodology, and how does it look? And once you have that kind of plotted out as a way to kind of review or embrace your session, then you can go back through and say, well, when I went through the course, I didn't really like this activity, but I know what the goal is. Maybe we can go at it like this, all right? So this is just one tool you can use. I want to stop and ask, we're going to go through those thematic elements that we talked about. But first, what I'd like to do is ask you to take 3 minutes and write down what you hope, what you think the most important 3 to 5 things, put 1 per paper, right? So on each of your items, should be 1 on each sheet. Oh, it's over there. I walk around a lot, Michael, so sorry. So,
Turn the air off.
what do you, most
you.
hope
Someone had-
that the volunteer learns? You guys are all experienced leaders. You're working with people all the time. Do you ever hang up the phone or get off the email and just go, if the person I'm working with understood this, we'd all be a lot happier? Or something where you're watching a committee and you know it's just not going well, what is it that we need to learn? So I want you can also even think back on what you got out of the course. What helped you be a better volunteer, or what did you wish you got? So I just want you to write down one item per piece of paper. What do you think is really important for someone taking this course to walk away with? Okay? And I need to scoot this over.
Did you say 1 word?
You didn't say one word necessarily, but yeah. So I can say 1 word at a time.
Oh, I forgot to write the last word up here, that is for learning. Should I spell it right? All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
So, I know I've moved this in the middle, so it may be hard to see. I do want to let you know that before I came tonight, I put on Google, how do you say, and I typed in the word, and it takes you to a website, and it pronounces words for you. It was great, and it was androgyny. Yeah,
Androgyny.
androgyny, yeah. At least according to that little computer voice. Then, for last but not least, so we have Greek root, and then I decided to just do 1 Yiddish root,
Yeah.
right?
Good shot.
Menshogany, yes.
What?
Yeah, but they are, what I hope everybody will get out of this course.
Yiddish or kite.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I think it's what happens when you bring your best to the board. Get a little menshogany going. Okay, so, yes.
It's not agony either. Men-
Yeah, that's all right. Menshogany, yes. So, all right, wanted to find something with a Yiddish root. So, I realize, even though I stepped across the room, and see if I could read those, they're probably still too small. So, what I'm hoping you guys can do is, I'm gonna go through and just give you the main themes, or the main topics. The themes and goals are listed underneath. I am not gonna read them to all of you, all right? But I want you to just come up one at a time and put up one of your ideas, and then we'll go around and do it again. So I wanna see if you have things that you hope people learn, where do you think they're gonna learn it? In this series. And if they're not gonna learn it anywhere, if you guys came up with something that doesn't seem to fit, I guess let's put it over here. Oh, I have tape. I'll have tape, and I know how to use it. So let's start, so of course the beginning is just the introduction to the course, the overview to the course. Jewish leadership at home, work in temple, what every Jew should know, all right? Then we go into personal styles and self-understanding, what it means to be a liberal Jew, and it has specific themes and goals. Then we go into communication, Jewish values of handling conflict and listening, connecting through stories. Kesher, we've been asked to add one more topic, and that might be where it goes into, the connecting the stories. Session 4, meeting management, how Jewish values drive everyday decision making. Session 5 then goes into logistics and systems info. This means how the temple works. What are the logistics here? Finances, committee structure, synagogue as a holy community, all right? 6 is our vision and mission, engaging volunteers, building a shared Jewish mission, and our new topic from our last time we did this, technology, all right? And then session is kind of the conclusion and celebration, it's getting the big picture, it's acting above and beyond, and resources for continuing your Jewish journey. So, and in there, each of those, right, we have all our smaller splinter skills. So, Paul, maybe you could kick it off. What do you have? So, read one of your.
Leading with Jewish values, I would put it under the topics.
Okay.
How Jewish values drive every day.
Okay. We'll put it up.
Trust.
All right. Excellent. And let's just go around the table, if you don't mind. Sharon, do you have one?
Well, I do, but I'm so verbose. It's such a frustration.
It's okay, go for it.
Let me see if this fits, because I can't really read it well. Yeah, I guess this is like the one thing that I would want people to come away from this
Yeah.
session, the meeting management, how Jewish values drive everyday decision making, and talking about volunteer experiences,
Yeah.
is that no matter how small your volunteer role is in any organization, the fact that you are a volunteer qualifies you as a leader and an advocate for that organization.
Wow,
Hey.
one
Kind of
theme.
big.
Kind of more in session 6 too.
Yeah,
Or do you want it 6 or do you want it 4? It can go either.
it can go either one.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
know.
All right, excellent.
I'm
As a
very
home.
big.
Tony, do you want to come up, or you can hand it to me and I can put it up too if you want.
I had, that everyone brings value to, each of the groups in the session.
Wow. Wonderful. Okay. Cindy?
Knowledge of the past history at here at Temple Exam, how it impacts the now and the future, like the Kesher concept, so perhaps there.
Yeah, and which one, where do you want one?
History is the.
We have the history in sections, module
Is,
6,
it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
with how well.
We actually put history
That's
here.
fine.
So,
If you're gonna do history.
yeah, so that can kind of, all right. Sandy, what do you have?
Mine's just a knowledge of the temple, the
Oh.
building, inside and out, the people and all the systems.
So we know we have that one.
Yeah.
But just hold it in there.
So I wrote, the temple is an active place with lots of things going on, and a sure thing that there's some place for everybody.
So where does
And
that
I
go?
would put that under six, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think, they also do, we have committee, where's our committee list?
Well,
Wasn't necessary.
That's-
Committee structure, you think it's 5? Committee structure?
I don't remember, I just remember
Is this
thinking
info?
about,
well, 6 is gonna be the volunteerism maybe.
Mm-hmm.
as a community of volunteers and mission.
Okay. All
I
right,
don't know.
good, sounds good. Okay, there's overlap, I mean, so I'm making a couple points here. There is some overlap, right, in content, which makes sense. That it's really wonderful if you as a presenter can say, I'm back in session 2, or back in session 3, when you come up on session 5. So you are more than welcome, it's easiest to do that if you're there. So come to as many sessions as you can. It's
Yeah.
just a wonderful way, and as Sandy knows, I love to say that this group will be your best asset as a temple leader, because it's the new enthusiastic people who look up to you, who connect with you as a Jewish leader, and who you can then call to say, I could use some help, but it has to come from that personal connection. So we're gonna have hopefully somewhere between 20 to 25 people who are interested and enthusiastic,
Yeah, we really should, attend as many as we can.
as you can.
Because they are our future volunteers.
That's right.
This has to do with like how to be inclusive and
Mhm.
make sure everyone in your committee is
Oh.
involved in the work.
Okay, so how to be inclusive, maybe that's personal styles, because we talk about how people with different styles, that's the introvert, extrovert, you have learning styles, is that right?
Leadership styles.
Leadership styles, so to get everybody involved, it could probably also fall into 6 again. So, and maybe it could be in communication. So, Steve, what do you have?
I thought real life examples, just whatever we're talking about, bring in some actual
Okay.
examples.
We have a session where we set up some simulations, and I just found some on the URJ. They're also doing some teaching units, and they've set up simulations of real life scenarios in a temple where you can just kind of go, oh, wow, and then how do you work it through? So we did,
That's usually what rabbis would do it during the systems.
yeah.
Or meeting management.
Yeah, meeting management also, because we do have the, so, okay, well, that doesn't have any.
It shows up all over.
It could be on either. It could be on either. Also has to be in communication, I think, too, but.
Yes, actually.
All right.
Mine are ditto, but understanding that all leadership styles are good.
Oh, well, all leadership styles are good.
Kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Always remember that we're part of a Jewish organization and keeping the Jewish values in mind and communicating that in a positive way.
Wow. Wow.
So it's Jewish values again.
The 4th one?
But that's also all the way through that.
Through.
course.
Yeah.
I could kind of tear it into 7 pieces.
Yeah, everything, or put it on the side.
Put it in the
as opposed to
middle.
everywhere.
I'm
Put
putting
it
it
up
in the
there at the
middle.
top.
Yeah.
It's the overview,
Yeah.
Melissa.
If you wanna put it somewhere else, I have the same things.
Okay.
Consistent.
Do you? We'll just put them across the top. We'll
Yeah,
see.
that's
We'll
what I
keep,
did.
we'll see what, once we go through one go around, we'll see what else we need to add. You guys may have multiples, but that's okay. What do you have?
I've got to facilitate a contentious meeting or one where certain participants are either dominating or withdrawn.
Oh,
Good.
this seems to be one of the reasons again in our feedback where people say they want more skills.
Meeting management.
That's
Meeting management.
true.
Go
Is
contentious.
it meeting management or communication?
I think meeting
I
management.
think it's
Both.
meeting management.
Both, yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll put it in the middle between the two. There we go. Sure. Because all leaders need to know how to handle difficult interactions in order to maintain the integrity of the committee.
That's good.
So,
So I think minus one particular one, it's overall view of how temple works and its values and vision.
I think that goes, don't you think, Paul?
Systems, huh?
Yeah. This is one of the ones that Paul has worked very hard on. And then Michael and Steve last year did some wonderful, wonderful, updating of it. All right. Tracy, you have one?
I do. Make sure that you have a successor and that person is trained so that, so that
Excellent.
the committee is functional without you. It's important.
Yes, I would say so. I would say so. So where does that go?
All over.
Is that volunteer?
The impact of the course, it could be, that could actually be in the last one, above and beyond, and what do you do to really get people involved and
These are our successes that we're training.
All right, does anybody have, let's go back around, we'll start here and go back around. Anything else that's not up there already that you want to add?
Go ahead, how they can contribute in the future, which is the last
Okay,
section.
excellent.
Continuity of the program.
Okay. Anybody else have anything that they would put on?
Well, I had,
Okay,
Jen,
Jen?
just about recruiting volunteers and how to do that.
Oh, recruiting volunteers, thank you. I just have the 5-minute warning, so we're good.
that's what, session 6.
6, okay. Anybody who,
I had two, which is, what is / are the participants' fears about leadership, and what will the course teach them about working with those, and also what are their strengths, and what will the course teach
Okay.
about working with those, because I think that goes in maybe personal styles, and learning how to work within your own strengths and
I think so too.
hesitations.
I think so too. Okay. All right. So far, I can see that we don't need to have this session anymore. No.
Ellen, remembering history and valuing it.
Okay, so the history, we had that come up because, you
It's
know,
in session 6.
yeah, because we've had founders come and speak with us.
Mhm.
Fred Katzberg,
Fred Katzberg for years.
other people have
Al
come.
Wolf.
Al Wolf, and he
Al
was
Wolf
sometimes
is
telling
already
us
on
something.
board. He
Oh,
gets
he's
so
great.
excited. And I have to say that, you know, I kind of coach him every time, but yet the participants just love hearing the history. Because so many people don't know, particularly with 60 years coming up.
Yeah, it really gives them a new perspective,
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
appreciation.
We're sitting,
Tracy?
we're sitting in a tiki
Tiki
room.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, tiki room.
Yeah.
Never forget that you should be thinking about the best thing for the temple as a whole and not just your personal situation.
Oh, I'm not sure where that goes.
How about one? That's when you teach everybody.
Should be in one.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's why they're here, maybe.
Right.
Right. Building community by building relationships.
Yeah.
And I have one that would fit into one, just to make
Yeah.
one more populated, which is how important volunteers are to our organization. Those-
Yep.
It doesn't work, those community, building community by building relationships.
The synagogue's role in the continuity of Judaism. If we don't, the volunteers are the engine of the synagogue. So anything else? Lisa, you have one?
Well, I think it's something that Melissa touched on. Understand that this is a Jewish organization and operates differently than a business.
Okay, all right, I think, so I thought we'd have some stuff that you guys would come up with that we weren't teaching, actually. I was getting ready to say, well, good, then put these into your, but it seems like you're telling me, I think, that these, if you could get a volunteer that knew or did or could do all of these things, they'd be successful? Is that pretty much? Did we cover what would make someone a successful, happy volunteer here at Isaiah? So that kind of is a nice validation that the content we selected 10 years ago, even though it's been updated in the ways we're presenting it, continues to change and improve, as Paul said, that the core of the message is still strong and still vital to our success. In 2007, 96% of the people who've taken the course were either, or 96% of the board, 96% of our temple board in 2007 were either facilitators, had taken the class, had helped to create the class, or, yeah.
We're taking it.
Or we're taking it at the time. That's, you know, that's kind of nice. So, it creates a shared vocabulary for the board that I hope supports Lisa, and I hope supported Paul and those before him, right? So, do you have any questions? Okay, well, thank you very, very much. Be fun.
Ellen comes up with something new and creative every time.